We're recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers from around the world, welcome to the Couch Co-op Podcast, the ultimate hub for gaming enthusiasts. Prepare yourselves for an exhilarating episode filled with lively debates, nostalgic discussions, and a whole lot of gaming goodness. Tonight, we're diving into a hot topic that has sparked the curiosity of gamers everywhere. Should Sega make a triumphant return to the console market? Join us as we explore the possibilities, ponder the potential, and share our thoughts on whether Sega should once again rise as a gaming console titan. But that's not all. In honor of Sega's legendary console, the Genesis, we'll be counting down our top 3 favorite Sega Genesis games. From blazing fast hedgehogs to iconic blue skies, we'll reminisce about the games that left an indelible mark on our gaming hearts. As always, we're thrilled to have Lord Beerstro gracing us with his presence. Get ready for another round of his beer battle, where two magnificent brews will clash in an epic flavor showdown. It's a battle of hops, malt, and pure gaming satisfaction. And let's not forget Aaron's Mobile Minute, where he'll dive into the exciting world of mobile gaming. From addictive puzzles to adrenaline-pumping races, Aaron will provide you with the latest updates, recommendations, and hidden gems from the mobile gaming universe. So grab your favorite gaming beverage, put on your nostalgic goggles, and get ready to embark on a gaming adventure like no other. The Couch Co-op Podcast starts now! Couch Co-op! Couch Co-op! Couch Co-op!
I'm amped up. Are you guys amped up?
I don't know about you guys,
Woo!
but John's cold open makes me hot.
Makes me hard.
Better than caffeine.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game and beer podcast in the world. I'm Ian, and I got Jared, Nick, John, and Aaron. No Dave
Yay.
tonight. What happened? What? Dave? Too tired. Can't be bothered.
He's a traveling man.
He's
and
a traveling
tired.
man. He's a traveling man. Too
Get it.
tired. Let's see. You can find you can find us on social media platforms. You could probably try Twitter, but I think that's end of days right about now. Anyway, that's at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. Just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. You can find our podcast on all major platforms. If you want to watch us, head over to youtube.com/MilkmanPictures. We also stream our show live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. like we are right now, Pacific Standard Time. If you want to you want to come on, just pop into the chat. We can talk, have a conversation. We probably won't really talk to you, but we'll try to answer your questions if you leave them in the chat. That's twitch.tv/thecouchcoop show. If you ever wanted to drop in and chat, be a part of the show, we welcome you to do so. Yeah. It's warm. It's summertime. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. This is probably the most positive I have felt on a summer break in a long time. There's so much. I am ready. I could fucking launch to the moon right now. So, let's do this shit. Lord Beerstro. Sorry. I think again.
Beerstro.
I think it's Beerstro. I think John actually said it wrong too in the intro.
He did.
We gotta
pronounce it.
beer.
No, I wasn't gonna cut him off.
Lord
mid-intro.
Beerstro.
Beerstro? What did I
Not
say?
Beerstro. but
Bistro. We said bistro. We keep saying bistro. Lord Bistro.
Is that in your notes? Are
Beer.
You,
No,
do you
I
have it
put down
typed in your notes
Beerstro.
as Bistro?
Maybe I don't know. I'll have to listen to it when it's when the episode's out.
Hopefully Nick is not going to have
Bistro's awesome.
Not going to have a Tony Death moment where his wife comes into the room naked, topless.
No, but I did tell her about that.
Oh, what a good memory. That's to you, Tony Death. Never going to live that one down. Yeah. So Beerstro, we're gonna kick it off with you. You're gonna continue on with your theme. I believe it's Independence Day, Independence Day week. What you got going on for us? And a little
So
special.
I picked 2 beers based out of the U.S. Well, actually, since I'm on the road right now in Bend, I actually picked 2 Central Oregon beers. And
Oh my God.
Jared,
Nice.
these will probably be right up Jared's alley.
Okay.
Not
So
2 sours.
Yes, 2 sours.
Awesome. Okay.
I've got Sun Rivers. It's from their Wild series. It's a sour red ale with cherries.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And it's going up against 10 Barrels, Rose Bois Grand Cru.
Oh,
I'm
Oh.
not sure if I
you
pronounced
got to
that
bring
correctly.
some of those home for me. I'll
Um,
buy them off you.
I mean, they're both about $15 a piece, I
Yeah.
think. I'll run up to Newport, grab a couple. But yeah, this one's a Belgian style wild sour ale.
Nice.
And the reason I picked these 2 is because of actually where I'm staying. Is I'm walking distance from both West Side locations of Sun Rivers, Galveston Pub, and 10 Barrel West Side location, which those 2 are like a block from each other.
Oh,
So-
great. Yeah.
Just to kind of commemorate where I'm at.
Yeah. Sounds like a great place to hang out.
Right.
Oh, it is. It's lovely. I especially like the Sun River Pub.
Is AB InBev really an American company anymore, though?
No, it's not. It's InBev is Belgian, but
Oh wait, is 10 Barrel owned by AB InBev or is that someone else?
no, they're owned
Yeah.
by AB InBev.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I forget sometimes who owns what.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like last week when I did Kokanee. I mean, they're also owned by AB InBev as well, but
So Kokanee's an American. Well, I mean, it's still technically an American brand, though. I guess
Mhm.
America.
well, I mean, it was a Canadian
America.
brand, but
I like that as a cork and a wire twist, like
Yep.
a champagne
They really
pop
don't.
top.
They really don't want you to drink it.
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's just my freaking hands.
You got to
I
get
just-
some leverage. You're going to spill that all over. Don't get it on the computer, all right?
That would suck.
Oh, I heard the pop of that cork.
It's his iPad,
There it goes.
right? I think it's his iPad.
Oh, this feels weird because I'm not at home.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's like tainted. I mean, it's weird that you're not in a
Oh.
hot tub.
Yeah, that's so last year, Ian.
So
Yeah.
last year. Oh, that couldn't
No.
possibly be this year. Oh my God, that'd suck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has a hot
No,
tub.
it's-
It's just he's not in it.
It's for one, it's like it wasn't as well lit as the other one. Just there's a lot of trees around here to block natural light,
All I hear is excuses.
and not to mention. Well, I could have given you the address, and you could have shown up and set up the production
should've.
space,
He's
I
a
should've.
professional,
I
Ian,
should've.
without
Yeah.
lighting.
Mr. Filmmaker.
we have someone showed up in chat. Hello,
Hey, hi.
I am
Hi.
Bisky. That's all Bisky had to
Bisky?
say. He's Bisky. Hey Bisky, how's it going?
Is it Bisky or Bisque? Or
Bisky,
I don't know,
Biskey, Bisky,
oh,
Whiskey.
okay.
Bisky.
Welcome.
Not a biscuit,
Is
but a
the
bisky.
is the alcohol content of sour beers
It
similar?
can be higher.
It can be lower and
Is
higher.
it usually higher? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Not always.
like the Sun River is at 8.2.
Yeah.
Damn.
It gets higher than that.
And the 10 barrel's only 7.4.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
not
the
bad, though.
cucumber
That's
crush,
perfect.
the 10 barrel cucumber crush is like a 4 something, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty light.
You mean the best craft brew
The
based
best
out of Oregon?
craft brewery out of Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such an embarrassment.
It's so fucking. Yeah. Let's try. Anyway, yeah, I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, we shouldn't pay attention to articles that I put. Well, wait, that's what this episode's kind of based on. But
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
true.
And now I'm like obsessed with this. Bisky says, "How are you all doing? We're doing great. Please settle a debate for me. All right, lay it on us, Bisky. What is your debate? If it's awful, I'm shutting you down."
Yeah.
Is Elon? No, I'm not even. That's not even a real question. All right. And the answer is no.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. While the Beerstro drinks his first sour ale, he also the
You
Beerstro also posted a article
Oh.
in the Discord like a week ago or something about how I think it's from comic book resources.
It was
Should
within the past week, I believe, but
yeah, this past week. Should Sega rejoin the console market? Meaning, should they create a new console? I thought this was an interesting topic, and I was interested on hearing what the rest of everyone thought because I know Sega games are super popular. Some more than others, but a lot of them have been really seeing a flood of resurgence, like the Yakuza thing. Now, Like a Dragon. The Persona series has usually been on, is very Sega focused generally. Isn't Atlas owned by Sega? I don't know.
I think so.
And then, Sonic, obviously. Bayonetta could come back to Sega. So they have powerful franchises that I think that could warrant a console of their own. But should they? Mm-hmm. So, Nick, first of all, since you posted this article, you posted it. Why did you post it? Do you think this is? Were you just posting it out of fun, or do you think this is something that should happen?
I was just posting it more just to see what you guys thought about it. Like if you kind of agreed with the author's take on it, or if because I think we've kind of been conditioned for a while to really only have 3 major consoles on the market. And I was just wondering if maybe 4 would kind of be a little too much. But I was just kind of curious I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
Would you buy a new Sega console?
Yes, I would, just because based on how much I really like the Dreamcast.
How much would you buy it for?
$1 million.
Yeah,
let's not get
He's gonna be a backer
let's
on
not
Kickstarter.
let's not get too far into that because I want to ask you all about that. But Jared, let's go to Jared, our resident historian of video games and the archiver of everything that's played everything and knows everything about video games.
Of course.
Should Sega get back into this market, or is it not worth it?
I don't think it. No, I don't think so. I think it's too late for them to do that. If they stuck to it, they might be a competitor. But I don't think they have what it takes to get back in the market. I don't think they've released any good even Sonic games to really get new people interested in the series and things like that. Like
Sonic Mania was huge.
Well, they didn't make it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It still would have been their game.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And Sonic Frontier did pretty well.
Yeah, it did okay, but all the Sonic Team games have been mediocre at best. So that fan base is really just kind of narrowing down to the people that really love Sonic versus introducing it to new fans and things like that. And I don't think a console would help that one bit, honestly.
All right.
That's just one of their products that I'm talking about. They have a lot, but I maybe know one person that's played Yakuza, like you were mentioning earlier. Dave, I think, played one.
I played Like a Dragon.
Yeah, okay. So there's a couple, but
I think Like a Dragon's awesome, actually.
That would require them to eliminate a lot of the money they could make by if they were to pigeonhole themselves onto one console and make them exclusive to their console, they would lose a lot of their audience. And I don't think they could even talk to their investors about a proposition like that. Like, oh yeah, we have access to millions and millions of people. Now we're down to hundreds of thousands.
John, I know you were a little unsure going into this podcast because you don't know a lot about the Genesis games, but you must have an opinion on this. Do you think they should bother?
I don't think the money, the investment to develop a new console, because pretty much the article is just saying that they could do wacky,
right?
AA games essentially.
Yeah, not even pulling their AAA games, just focusing on.
They're talking about Goat Simulator and Broforce and using those games as an example, and it's just but those are small scale budget games.
Because the Ouya did really well.
Yeah, that's what exactly came to mind is the Ouya. They could do a little fob for your TV with some indie kind of Sega published games or something like that.
Yeah, that would make. I mean, that would make more sense. But to do a full-fledged console, I think they would just lose their ass again, and which is probably why
Yeah.
they don't want to do it. There's just no why. And I think didn't they even say wasn't Nintendo or someone even talking about like they kind of want to get away from consoles and just develop games or software? Like wasn't there some console maker that just wanted to focus more on games instead of the console because it's just not enough money in the consoles?
I think it's just too much research and development money you have to put into it to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, even video game developers, when they try to make a game, if they take, it seems like if they take longer than 5 years, and even 5 years is pushing it, they almost have, then they get in a horrible cycle of like, well, now we're out of date. So we have to either pull the game back again to update our whole game, or we just release it, but it's going to be kind of dated because it's, I mean, technology is being moved so fast now.
But if it's a
I just
gimmicky
don't-
game like the article's talking about, and obviously this has nothing to do with Sega. Sega has no word on this. This is someone's opinion who we're like basing
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
discussion
Yeah.
off. But like this guy's saying all the gimmicky games. Well, the gimmicky games don't need to be cutting edge. This kind of goes. This kind of goes into
mean,
one of my
Nintendo's
next. This
never
kind of
really
goes
been
in.
cutting
Yeah, exactly.
edge.
This kind of goes into one of my next questions. Is like Sega doesn't need to make a AAA console. They just need to make a Nintendo console, like a Nintendo Switch console. They don't need to make a AAA console. So could Sega get away with not making a AAA console and just make a Ouya or Nintendo Switch console?
Game Gear.
Game Gear, like something simple.
Yeah, I was thinking like a handheld something, but the only thing I could ever see is if they did like a collection of retro games on a handheld system or something like that, but nothing modern. I really don't envision anything like that. Like you might as well just go buy a Steam Deck and play all the Sega games on your Steam Deck or something.
Aaron,
There's 1,000 different PC handheld things that would take that cake.
Aaron, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about this? And feel free to have a different viewpoint than your fellow couch co-opers.
Well, so that's the thing. I actually kind of agree with everybody here, mainly because they've been out so long, and when they did the Dreamcast, like they got shit on essentially for thinking too far ahead, and now if they try and come back with a new system, they basically they probably would shoot themselves in the foot because yes, Yakuza Like a Dragon, great game from what I understand. I haven't played. I know a couple of people that played it and nothing but great things from them. And then they got the Sonic franchise they can draw on, but other than that, I don't. They're gonna have a hard. They have a hard time competing against juggernauts like PlayStation and Xbox, and maybe they go console and kick the console, but handheld console and kick the shit out of the Nintendo. Because let's be honest here, Nintendo good, but Sega was better. I personally thought than Nintendo, which not that hard, but I think they should come out with high powered. If they're gonna do anything, come out with a high powered console, handheld console, like almost a PlayStation portable thing for the Sega. Because even
or
though
Sega Nomad 2 or Sega Game Gear 2. I mean that's there we go.
yes, because honestly, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of a console. Just I feel like they do a much better arena with a handheld than that because a lot of their games were pretty much handheld quality on Genesis when that was around, and even the Dreamcast. And if they had to come out now with a handheld console, they would blow the Switch out of the water more than likely. But if they're to go in a console now against like I said, 360, the Xbox and PlayStation, they would be sunk.
100%.
They just
100%. I agree with you mostly, Aaron. I disagree on. I mean, I agree that the Dreamcast was future focused in a certain extent, but I feel like
Yes.
they weren't. I feel like the only reason we exist in the console generation we do now is because the Dreamcast did not
That's
put
true.
a DVD player in their console. If they had put
That's
a
true.
DVD player in the Dreamcast, the whole PlayStation 2 thing, that whole dynamic would have been a vastly different thing. They should not have focused on online play. That should not have been the thing that
Right.
they focused on.
Oh, wholeheartedly, yeah.
That's a future thinking thing, 100%. That is where gaming was going, but sneaking a DVD player into everyone's house was the biggest Trojan horse
For
PlayStation
cheaper
2.
than a DVD player.
100%. That's
Yeah.
why PlayStation 2 won.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they did it again with PlayStation 3 and a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
Yes, and I mean that's all right. Yeah,
One
100%.
out over
True,
HD DVD
but it won
that
out.
way,
Yeah,
no
I mean
doubt.
that one was a little less decisive, but yes.
Right.
I know,
But the DVD thing, 100%. And I think I agree with all of you guys in saying that Sega would lose, right? And obviously, there's nowhere that's saying that Sega's going to do this. But I would like to see an OG Sega versus Nintendo console battle.
That would be kind of fun.
I would love
too,
to see
yes.
it again. You know, I would love. They don't
And
have to
I'll-
compete against
maybe
Nintendo and
actually win.
Xbox PlayStation and Xbox, because Nintendo doesn't compete against PlayStation and Xbox. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nintendo is on its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone
I
that
think,
owns an Xbox and everyone that owns a PlayStation probably has a Nintendo too. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
So like,
Mhm.
Nintendo isn't a AAA console. In my head, it's like a 2.5. It's a 2 or a 2.5. It's like because it's less. It's not a AAA. It's okay. It can't be a AAA because the
No.
graphics fucking shit suck. You know, it
Oh, yeah.
runs fucking shit awful. Like you're looking at 30 FPS on a good day. You know, so like, it's not a AAA console. Could Sega compete against that? I think
Yeah.
so. I think they could. Would they? Probably not. But would it be fun to see it? Yes. So that's I'm kind of in the more, fuck it, let's see it. Everyone else has failed. Everyone else has made a fucking console. You know, Atari tried to do whatever that thing was, and I don't even think did that thing ever come out? I don't even know if that Atari came out. I don't know.
I don't think so.
But man, that was a fucking cool looking Atari. I would, fuck it. Game Gear 2? Fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. Dreamcast 2? Whatever. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Anything that like, I think Nintendo needs a competitor. Because Nintendo is fucking stale, in my opinion. And if
Or
Nintendo had a
partnering
real
with
competitor,
Nintendo.
that would be great. Because they're not competing against Xbox and PlayStation. So, that's my opinion on that. I had some other... What would you... If this happened, what would you be willing to pay for it?
I guess it all depends on if it's something to plug into my TV. I mean, again, it depends on what form factor it would take,
Right.
and that's hard to gauge. Like a mainline console, I don't think I'd feel comfortable spending a lot on
Mm-hmm.
an unproven thing.
So it
It'd
couldn't
be
be
like
more
one
than
of those
two, right?
wait and see kind of a product.
If it was going up into just a Nintendo, it couldn't be more than 2. I mean, a PlayStation... What is it? Nintendo's like 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, 350 for the OLED model.
400 for the Pro.
But-
That's never coming out.
Yeah. Well, there's rumors that the dev kits for the next Nintendo console are going out, but again, those are rumors.
Mhm.
But
we need to get this out there because Metroid Prime 4 is not going to run on the Switch.
no, it's not, and that's very sad. And no information still.
I'm just kidding. We don't know that.
No.
Nick, how much would you pay for
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Like if we're talking like a Switch-like system, it'd probably be. I mean, like Jared said, it would kind of depend on like what it is and what it gives us. Like if it's like some like little improvements, like maybe for storage and stuff for that matter, or even expandable storage, or just a couple of little options here, I'd be fine paying like $400 for like a little Switch beater,
Oh my
as
god.
long as it give me.
John, you
Well, I
disagree?
mean,
I would be I like 350 tops, but even then, I think that's a little much.
But
Like,
would you even
I-
buy
Jared
it?
said-
Others.
But I'm saying 400 if it gave me like something with a little bit more than what the Switch gives me in terms of not just necessarily like hardware, but just other little options. Like, hey, if you want to play like maybe some of the older Genesis games and you have a controller, here's a couple of little ports or here's a way you can connect an old controller, play some of your old games.
Do you think
Something
it
like
needs
that.
to pull some AAA titles though? Do you think it needs to like Sega needs to be like, oh, we need to take back Bayonetta? We need to, or do you think they can maintain being cool Genesis or cool Sega without having to pull some of their bigger AAA titles like a Dragon, Bayonetta, Sonic?
Well, no, I think they'd have to make those console exclusive because otherwise
Yeah.
you're just. I mean, for one, you can instead of having to develop for a couple of different consoles, you have just one that you can just focus on. You don't really have to worry about porting, or I guess you could probably port later, I suppose, maybe at a premium. Thought I had another thought, but
I mean, they could probably keep those. I mean, if we did a lower end console and kept those multi-platform, those AAA titles, and then you pull down like Streets of Rage, like a newer like Streets of Rage 4 came out, the next Streets of Rage, straight up console exclusive launch title for this new console, or Comic Zone 2. Or you start Echo the Dolphin returns. You could do some cool shit and still maintain
Seems like such a small pool.
Would it be?
It does.
Do you think so?
Well, I was looking at like Bayonetta sales. Like the franchise has shipped a total of like 3.09 million units.
That franchise
And that
done,
seems pretty minimal for what they would need. That's probably not one of their higher selling franchises,
Probably
but
not.
it's got to be up there.
It's not Sonic, but I think
No,
they don't
it's not.
survive.
It's
I don't
Beast.
think they survive pulling Sonic from other platforms.
Yeah, it's just there's so much that. I mean, it would be cool. I mean, I'm not completely downing. If it ever happens, I mean, they of course will have to have some solid plan, but I can't throw any number at it that would make any sense.
or maybe just make like I haven't followed Sonic for a while, but are there any like new actual kind of like how Mario kind of has moved from world to galaxy to whatever? I mean,
Sonic
has
Frontiers
done the same thing?
Sonic Frontiers
Their
is the
latest
new
one.
a lot. Didn't that launch the beginning of this year?
Yeah, it's not been that long.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was met kind of mediocre, like kind of high sevens.
It needed more time in the oven.
Yeah, it was a good game that just needed more time, but there's a lot of people that really liked it. So, I think that's kind of. I mean, I would love to see it. Come on, you'd love to see it. I don't really care, like if it's sold or not. You would love to see.
Or see like
do you think it really needs to
older titles like Alex Kidd for Dave,
right?
And, maybe even Altered Beast.
I feel like they could exist and still new Altered Beast. Like fuck them. Golden Axe. You could like redo all of these titles, launch titles,
which
of
I'm
this
surprised
shit.
they haven't done Golden Axe.
And you could like maintain Sonic and all these other. You could keep Yakuza. You could keep all these titles multi-platform, but then you have this other smaller Nintendo competitor, like a 2.5, 2.8 console that like competes against Nintendo with your classic fucking. You could have a fucking Michael Jackson Moonwalker title again. Anyway,
maybe not that so much, but
yeah.
Well, you could even like come up with some
Michael Jackson Moonraper title.
Oh boy. No.
Anyway,
well, not even just that, but you could also do like you can have new releases of like old titles. Like for Sonic, you can actually look at all these new Juggernaut, new fucking developers like Insomniac and all this other people. You can contract them to actually help with me doing everything with them. Like a new Sonic with Insomniac in the helm. Oh my god, that'd be a Sonic I'd play. Or shit, get new developers like I don't know, even for Echo the Dolphin or like they're saying Golden Axe, or just you can contact new people for everything and just
You
make it
can't
more.
say that a new Echo of the Dolphin wouldn't slightly be kind of cool.
Especially
I
if
know.
it's made
I
out
love,
of
yeah.
Dolphins that
Yeah.
were
I
actual,
think,
like,
I
critters.
loved Echo the Dolphin. I've played multiple Echo the Golf. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see what that
Interesting to see what
is.
they could do.
And plus,
I mean,
Echo, I
the
don't know,
tech is
man.
there now. The tech is there to do redos of every single franchise out there. I mean, we're seeing it now with every single console of every new game. It's like if Sega were to come out now with something, and you could completely redo every single thing to make it look amazing and more fun to play. Because I remember the Genesis console, the Game Gear. Oh my God, glitch, glitch, glitch.
And maybe
And now,
Atlas doesn't, even though they're owned by Sega, maybe they don't, or whoever. Doesn't Atlas produce Persona? Or no? Who?
Yeah.
Okay, and Sega
Well,
owns Atlas, right? My
Yeah,
understanding is
I
that.
think so.
So, like, you don't have Atlas. I mean, obviously, you can put Persona on the Sega console, but you could have them create a new IP, and I think that would get people. I think it. I think it could work. I think it could work.
It is a subsidiary of Sega.
A new Power Stone. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential.
they could
Sega
even
Rally
do
comes back.
IPs.
I don't know. I don't. I. You know, this guy talks about gimmicky games, and I feel like I get. That's the kind of the one thing I don't agree with this guy about. Like, I get Crazy Taxi is a kind of a gimmicky game, but people like that. You could do like some
That was
kind
a
of.
fun gimmick. I enjoyed that game.
But I think Sega has enough stuff in their library that they could pull off something better than that. So
Well, and of
Columns for
course
the new
they'd
generation.
have to join the buying of other developers like all the other companies are doing. They'd have to broaden their library on top of what they already own. I mean, they need developers,
they have
lots
to
of developers to develop the properties that they own.
or it's just paying a
That they're not
developer.
doing
It's
anything
just
with.
paying a
Yeah.
developer a lot to produce a
Mhm.
title just for them. Basically, like, hey, we're gonna ask you to develop this for this much of money, not to develop it for everyone else. At least for said years, like 2 to 3 years. So here's this title. We're gonna pay you this money when it launches. It's ours for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of for it. I don't think the Sega needs to make a gimmicky game console. I feel like they could make a Nintendo Switch, mainly because I hate Nintendo so much.
Right.
Yeah, I
feel
know
like-
you wasted $300 on a Switch, and you've used it a handful of times.
I did. My wife used it more than I did.
Yeah,
I just feel like,
funny.
yeah. Anyway,
No, they could do it.
so I'm yay. Who's nay? Who's yay and nay? I'm yay.
I would be for
John's
it if they
nay.
did. I don't know if I'd
No, we just
buy it.
we need straight up answers. Yay or nay?
I'm a
I
yay.
would like to see what a new
Oh.
competitor would do.
All right, 4-1. John's like
I'm a yay for handheld,
John's
nay for console.
John's an
console.
idealist, a realist. He's like,
I-
this is a fucking wrong. This is a bad
I just
idea."
think they would be scared shitless to actually start developing a new console.
Dude,
I
It's
mean-
not going to happen.
Dude, I
but
think
it would
fucking,
be
I
interesting
think-
to see.
I think Xbox is scared shitless every fucking moment of the day.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Like you talk about their competitor being Nintendo, and I get what you're saying in terms of console design and choice. It'd be more realistic for them to do an underpowered but very accessible console for a massive amount of people. But the Switch outperforms. It outperforms in terms of sales the PlayStation, right?
Because it's cheaper than the
it has for
systems.
certain. I mean, ultimately, I think it has outsold to date. But I mean, it doesn't always outsell the PlayStation on a monthly basis.
Yeah. But
I
then
mean-
I
but
feel
it's
bad
also the
for-
worst console ever produced. So like, it's just Nintendo glaze.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should never have bought one.
It's the cheapest console of the three, and that's why it sells
No, it
ultimately
sells
better than.
because of fucking
Oh, that
Zelda
too.
and just
That too,
the
but
worst fucking games. Anyway,
I just feel bad for Phil Spencer. He's been coming out a lot this month, just being like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Like,
no,
so,
it's
and it's
have
Xbox.
you
just
guys
kind
been
of
following
crazy.
any of that latest news shit that came out of the hearings? Like that Xbox was gonna spend Sony into the ground and all this shit. It's like it's kind of gnarly. And then like Bethesda's upset that Microsoft told them they couldn't sell their games multi-platform, even though they're allowing Activision to sell Call of Duty multi-platform. Like, there's all this like shit coming out. This like crazy.
Well, isn't the deal with the Call of Duty like they're gonna make a deal with Sony that I mean, I know the details haven't been ironed out, but they're gonna allow Call of Duty to be multi-platform for X amount of years.
Yeah, but
and then
Sony doesn't want
after-
them. Doesn't want because Sony doesn't care about that because they don't. Sony doesn't because once Activision is owned by Microsoft, Sony doesn't want to be able have to give Microsoft basically the blueprints to their next PlayStation.
Yeah.
So they don't care about that.
Oh, I
Mhm.
see.
They don't want them to have the knowledge. But then I just thought it was funny the internal
Oh.
emails from like Bethesda is like, hey, why do you guys give so much shit about this studio and this game being multi-platform and we can't have our games? Because like Starfield was supposed to be multi-platform,
Yeah.
and then when as soon as it got bought, Xbox said no, and it's like, but now we're one of the biggest game studios. We make one of the biggest games, and you're telling us we can't, but you're okay with fucking Activision and Call of Duty doing it? Yeah, fuck you guys. That's just a greed thing, you know. Anyway,
Well, isn't
Wow.
Microsoft kind of playing Sony's game? How Sony will kind of give an incentive to developers, like make this exclusive for 3 months, and then you can start selling the Xbox version.
Oh, yeah.
oh, it's
Lots
been
of money
worse
gets
than
flung
that. Have
around.
you? It's been worse than that. So the latest thing that came out like last week was so like anybody. So they're giving extra money to game developers for their games on Game Pass and to never release on Sony. So
Damn.
yeah, there's all
That's
kinds of
pretty
crazy
dirty.
shit. There's all kinds of dirty shit. But like Sony does the same thing. It's not like
Yeah.
Sony's
yeah.
pure. It's just like
No.
all this shit's coming out. It's pretty funny. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Sega. Let's move on. But before we do, let's kick it quickly back to the Beerstro. How was that first sour?
It was actually pretty good. I didn't realize it was a collaboration brew until I was looking at the bottle. They collaborated with Ale Song. Not exactly. I can't remember where they're from, but but yeah, it was a pretty tasty, sour, tarty treat.
And you've started the second one?
No, I was about to
Oh,
open
about
it.
to.
I
Oh
was-
man, he's just giving some breather. Give it some room.
Well, not only that, I was sitting there fighting the wax too. It's probably the one thing.
I'll
The
do it.
one thing that I hate about wax top bottles. But
The other one was a little more red, right?
yeah, the other one was a red ale.
Nice.
Yeah, this one looks a little browner,
Yeah, it does.
Is this one
Can't
the
see your
more
head.
alcohol content?
There you are.
less.
Oh, less. Okay, so you drank the heavy one. Did it feel like it was heavy alcohol on the first one?
No, not so much.
Not so much.
Oh.
No, but I just kind of was slow playing it, sipping it.
Cool. First sip. Initial impressions.
Not as sour as the other one.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, you drink on that one, and I think we'll kick it over to Aaron for Aaron's Mobile
Aaron's
Minute.
Mobile Minute.
Listen to Jared with the pipes.
Well, yeah, Ian's for some reason always gets cut
Dude,
off.
I don't
So
know.
Yeah.
Aaron's Mobile.
I turned off the echo filter,
Yeah.
and
Did that work?
the like the sound test
Nope.
thing. I think I don't know. It's weird. So so far that seems to be working
Aaron's
fine.
Mobile Minute.
There you go.
There we go.
I could probably scream into the mic, but I'm not going to do that.
All right, let's bring up the clock.
All
Jared.
right, I got the clock. So once you start chatting about questions,
Yeah, so when you ask the first question, John, you'll hit
I
the
will hit go.
All right. Name.
Final Fantasy 15 War of Visions.
Single.
Yes.
Multiplayer.
No.
Genre.
Action.
Advertising or word of mouth.
Advertising.
Like music?
Yes.
Like graphics?
Yes.
Time played?
15 minutes.
Keep playing?
Potentially.
Recommend?
Yes.
Who would you recommend it to?
Jared.
Have a story?
Yes.
Like the story?
Yes.
Beginner friendly?
Yeah.
Skill based?
No.
Developer?
Square Enix.
Available on a console?
Yeah.
Cost?
Free.
Microtransactions?
Yep.
Do you like the microtransactions?
No.
That's all the questions.
God, you need to come up with some more questions, John.
Yeah, I do. I know. But we gotta enjoy this victory. Just bathe in it.
Was this more than last time? What was it? 21 last time though, so this is less.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a
20.
Final Fantasy 15 game. Is it just like that chibi version of it?
No, it's like a spin-off. It's like
Oh.
it has the same characters from 15. It's just
Huh.
here's Final Fantasy 15 and then here's this one. It's like a mobile type thing going on there.
Do they have any
kind of-
crossover?
I don't think so. I haven't got that far into it.
You beat
honestly.
Final Fantasy 15, didn't you?
I did. Yes, such a fantastic game.
I loved it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the one little version that's on the PlayStation. I know what you're talking about, with a little like cute anime character version, right?
No, this is like actual like Noctis and
That's the A New Empire.
No, but there's a version on PlayStation that has the little.
Yeah, but that was the original. Like it came out around the same time as Final Fantasy 15. It was just like the mobile version of it.
Oh, this is a different version.
Yeah, it was called Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, and this one's just Final Fantasy 15: A New Empire.
Oh, okay.
No, this is called the War of Visions. This is like it's like a separate. It has a character.
Oh, War for Eos.
Let me look.
Strategy game. Join
It's a
Noctis
size-
for victory.
It must be.
There's
that
a lot
one.
of Final
That's-
Fantasy 15 games.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up, but no, it has like Noctis and Ignis and Luna. I think is the girl, the blonde girl. I can't remember her
Huh.
name, but she's in it too.
Oh, and they actually so Final Fantasy 15: A New Empire was developed by Epic Action LLC, and Final Fantasy 15: War for Eos was made for Machine Zone Incorporated. So that's
Okay.
interesting that they're made by different companies. Pocket Edition was Square Enix.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's interesting.
I have a question for you, Aaron.
Huh.
You play a lot of mobile games.
yes.
What
I do.
What of the games do you finally like? Do you just cycle through them forever? And like, is there ever one you really like landed on and played forever?
Well, let's see. There was and my Android app that I have does the game launcher thing. The one that logged the most minutes was actually over, God, I want to say close to 4,000 minutes, which was pretty much 3 phones worth of time. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Links game. That
Okay.
I played that forever. And then there's one called Marvel Puzzle Quest I'm still playing. I've been playing that for nearly 500 minutes. So
Have you reviewed either of those games on the show?
I have. I did those actually.
Okay.
I
I
did
don't
the
remember.
Puzzle Quest from a revival of the series actually.
Okay. I'm just
But-
like you play a lot of game, but I'm just curious. Like, I mean, do any of these ever really survive you? I guess not.
They like a handful of them have. Marvel Snap has the Tacticus
Wait, did you
Warhammer
review
4000.
Marvel Snap and did I miss that?
That was the week later from the Puzzle Quest one. Tacticus I'm still playing. That game is actually pretty fun. The Mr. Auto Fire is still on my little system, but that one's about to go bye-bye since I don't play it as much.
Okay.
But yeah, the Vampire Survivor would have stayed if I didn't play Mighty Doom, and then I stopped playing Mighty Doom.
Gotcha. I'm just curious in general, like you know, like I don't know, you talk about a lot of games. I'm just curious, like what is the survive rate of some of these games?
What's
It's-
Warhammer Tacticus again? Is it like a?
It's a turn-based RPG.
Okay. Does it
Yeah.
actually go into the Warhammer lore?
It does actually. It has all the different
Really?
factions, like the Imperial armies in there. I can't remember what all the factions are, but I know the Imperial Army's in there. There's the orc-looking guys.
John's fascinated with Warhammer.
I know. I am. I am
get-
fascinated.
I actually got interested when I lived in Denmark back in the day, a long time ago. But I kind of got out of it, and I came back because of this mobile game. So.
It's such a lore-heavy universe.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't even scratch the surface with it because I'm watching bits and pieces of it. I'm like, huh? I gotta read more. What the fuck? I gotta read more.
There's a great YouTube video I watched where a guy, Bricky, he on YouTube, he broke down all the factions in like 60 minutes or something like that. It was fascinating.
And damn, that's not faction time. Oof.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's get through
Actually, I
this.
have one more question for Jared.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
For Jared. What
yeah.
clock do you use on your phone?
It relates to the clock, but I mean, are you intentionally putting Aaron's reflection on your phone?
I did today, yes.
Okay.
I was
so nice of
reflecting
you.
his
That's
got
pretty-
you in there, Nick.
That's pretty cool. What a cool thing.
Aw, that's
How-
so nice.
I was looking up a sale for the newest
Thoughtful.
Warhammer game for John.
Oh,
It's,
Bolt Gun is
Warhammer Bolt Gun
It's like
is
17
like
something on
1759 on PSN.
Really? Oh, I mean,
1759, yeah.
It's not an expensive game.
Well, it's only
No, I
already-
saw it was retail. I saw it like it was 29, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
It's like on sale on PSN right now.
Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
Which means it'll probably be on sale again for even cheaper.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on. So, like, the next leg of our journey brings us, since we're talking about Sega, maybe some of these cool games we could talk about in this and our top 3 favorite Sega Genesis games that we like to play, favorites of all time. Yes.
Yeah. Favorites.
Favorites.
We like these lists. We
do. And our
I
viewers
like top 3,
our
top
viewers
5
like
lists,
them
all
too.
that stuff.
So we'll get through them. We'll march through it. And Jared, you're going to kick it off.
Okay. Toe Jam and Earl is my number
God,
3.
The worst fucking game.
But as a young person with someone to play it co-op, that game was a lot of fun.
All right. If you say so.
I mean, looking back, it is not very fun. I even played the latest version of Toe Jam and Earl that came out maybe 5 years ago or something like that, and I thought it was kind of garbage, but it was fun enough, I guess, to finish. You know, that's about the best review I can give it. I think the original is about the same, but when I was young, you don't know any better.
We kind of.
I knew better. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. What are you talking about?
Oh, I played tons of it. I got real far. I'm not sure if I ever beat the game, but I forgot who I played it with because I never owned a Genesis. I borrowed one several times, and that's one of the games I got to borrow with it.
Yeah, I almost feel like we have to qualify a lot of these picks because these aren't.
John,
Well, no,
I like John. I mean,
Yeah.
John got on earlier. His qualifier is going to be good. So
Yeah.
Well, I just mean this was in an era when we didn't have our own dispensable income. I mean,
Oh, right.
and we're also in the rental age, trading and borrowing with friends.
Oh yeah, well
stuff
that's
like
fine.
that.
That's fine. I mean, if Cliffhanger is
Oh,
on your
but-
list, that's fine. I mean, it's a game.
My hometown was a Nintendo town.
All right, Nick, what's your number 3?
I'll just go with Altered Beast.
Altered,
I've
the
played
classic.
That so many, yeah.
I saw that.
was
Rise from your
the
grave.
Wasn't that a
First,
pack in?
first, yeah, that was
so.
the first game that came out with the Genesis before it got replaced by Sonic.
Yeah, I remember hearing the voices in it. They talked.
Mhm.
Man, they talked.
Rise. Oh, that was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
there are still times when I'm sitting here at like work, if I'm ever doing anything that kind of raises me up, I'm like, rise from your grave.
Yeah.
The first time I ever played that was a free giveaway on PS3. So I have the Sega
Oh
version
yeah, that's
of Altered
right.
Beast.
I forgot that was even there.
That's the first time I ever played that game, and oh boy.
It's not great in this day and age. Yeah, it was fun enough back in the 16-bit era, but a lot of games back then were kind of trash. But everybody loved them.
My number 3 is, I mean, I don't care which one you pick, but I'm gonna go Earthworm Jim.
I only played it on Super Nintendo.
I've played Earthworm Jim and Earthworm Jim 2 many times, multiple times, all the times. It's one of my. I've played it. I've never played it on Super Nintendo actually. I've only played it on Genesis, and I played it on ROM, and I played it on my ROM Dreamcast version because I have the entire Genesis library on Dreamcast. So I just love the weirdness, the kookiness, the idea that
launching the cow for some reason.
The idea that he basically pulls his head out and whips it, and you swing. It's just such a bizarre and absurd idea. It's funny. So yeah, Earthworm Jim is my number 3.
It's a good one.
Aaron, what's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3 is actually one of the first games I actually really fully enjoyed. It's the Battletoads franchise, actually, but I'm gonna go Battletoads Double Dragon franchise.
Yes. Classic.
Oh my god, that game! I enjoyed that game. I always was either Billy from the Double Dragon side or Rash from the Battletoad side.
That's a kind of a deep cut because that wasn't a super popular game.
I know, but it was such a fun game. One of my friends rented it for Blockbuster. I stayed at his house, and we spent like a good chunk of the night playing that. It was literally like a commercial for Pizza Hut. Kid you fucking not.
It's actually easier than the original Battletoads.
I know.
I hope so.
Right. I had the Game Gear version of the Battletoads. Oh my fuck. That game was gosh. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
I played was Battletoads and Battle Maniacs on Super NES.
No, so my brother bought Battletoads Double Dragon. I think it was on sale for super cheap. I think he got it for like $20. And I remember that was one of the games he had, and we used to play that all the time. The only problem with that, again, is like, you take damage from if you're playing co-op.
True.
Fucking anyway.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire is on, baby.
We couldn't turn it off.
Baby.
Worth it.
Worth it though. It's fun. It's worth it.
You could turn that on Double Dragon as well. It's like mode A and mode B.
I don't know if I feel like
I'm not sure if
I don't know if there was mode A or mode B on that Double Dragon. I don't feel like there was. Anyway, John, what's your number 3?
Contra.
The Contra Hardcore
or whatever.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. So side-scrolling, fun shoot 'em up.
Contra, dude.
Doing acrobatics.
I didn't even realize there was a Contra game. I mean, I know there's Super Contra on Super Nintendo.
Super C.
At what point does that come to Genesis, or was that the Genesis version?
I never played it.
Heard of it, but never played it.
I'm trying to look up
Contra
when
collection on PlayStation. I think it's in there, or you can buy it on Switch or something.
John, look faster.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
But I loved the Contra series. I didn't play their most recent one with
I gotta be honest, guys.
Or whatever the crap.
Contra, highly overrated.
1994.
Highly overrated series that I was never a super big fan of.
I loved it.
But that's cool.
I'm a sucker for arcade games where you get the power ups and you get more weapons and you can try out different weapon combos. Like I love.
I am into that. I'm just into the flying ones, not the walking, shooting ones.
Life Force,
like Life Force, or like Legendary Wings, or like
Legendary Wings, Gradius,
even like 1943 or 42.
Yeah,
that kind of shit. The walking ones, I don't know. I'm not as into for some reason. But that's cool. Contra.
It's because the jump button. The jump button was too confusing.
I need a bomb button, not a jump button.
Yeah.
Prone, jump, yeah. That's too much. All right, Jerry, number 2.
Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, baby.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, baby.
I don't remember playing any but the first one. And it was interesting enough. Like, just jumping out of the water and doing stupid tricks was fun enough for me. I never completed the game because it got pretty.
It's a pretty hard game.
Like most games of that era, it was difficult, and you really didn't know what was hurting you sometimes in a lot of games back then. So I don't know. I think I just ended up goofing around in it mostly, and it's fun. Good memories for that one.
100%. No, Echo the Dolphin, good choice. They made a bunch of Echo the Dolphin games too.
They did.
Yeah, even for the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I think
I have one for the
or
Dreamcast.
Saturn.
I have one for the
Yeah.
Dreamcast. Anyway, Nick to win number 2.
We're gonna stick with the hard game theme and
Hard.
X-Men.
The first one?
That was a hard
Yes.
one.
All right, awesome.
I don't know. I struggled with it.
I had difficult spots. I'll agree. I definitely agree with that.
I love it.
was-
I love the pick.
It's a good one too. I
It's
agree.
Good game.
And it was it came out like
Wholeheartedly agree.
shortly after the animated series came out. So
Oh, such a good series.
It was just kind of like a nice tie-in and all that stuff. And plus, that was also around the same time that I had a friend that was like really getting into Marvel comics and kind of like trying to introduce me into it too. So it was kind of a lot all at once. And
Did that one let you pick the characters beforehand each round?
Yeah, you had 4 that you could choose from, and then there was another 4 that would come in and like you could call on them to like help for
Yes.
one time, and then they disappear, which
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care much for that because I just thought it kind of sucked because great, I use them once and then I can't use them again.
Gotcha.
Yep.
It's like, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping
thanks,
by
bye.
while I struggle with Juggernaut. But
Sweet. Great choice. You know, as we lead into that, my number 2 is actually X-Men number 2.
Oh,
Because
good.
I think I never played a lot of the first X-Men game, but my brother bought X-Men 2. My brother is the one that had the Genesis, and I would just pop in there and play it every once in a while. X-Men 2, I played a shit ton, and it was more than 4 characters, but you never had a character pop in. But then also, each character had more of their abilities. So like Wolverine would heal. Like you would get hit, and if you get hit low, he would heal a little bit. He wouldn't heal up all the way, but he would heal enough for you to get to a point where you could get healed up. So like you get hit low, oh shit, and you would just play it carefully. He'd always heal back up enough that you.
he healed in the first one too.
Oh, I don't know. I remember playing the first one that much. I don't know if I ever played the first one, but all I know is I remember the first one started in the snow level, and it had this badass music that I just was obsessed with.
I remember it very well too.
Anyway, X-Men 2. You know what is funny? I had already picked my list, but I was curious, and I Googled top Sega Genesis games. X-Men was never on the list. None of them.
Boo.
And I was like, what the fuck, man? X-Men 2 is one of the greatest games of all time. In my opinion. I don't know. I should go back and play the original X-Men. But X-Men 2, man. I remember hating there's like this level where you're in a fucking what are the giant robots?
What, Sentinels?
A Sentinel. You're in a Sentinel, and then you blow it up, and then you have to run through at it, get out, because it's a timer.
Oh, I hate those.
I hated that
Anyway.
level, but I just remember that's one of those. Anyway, good times. Great game. Love it.
Yes.
All the characters are really fun to play. So I'm just backing on Nick's. I should go back and play the original. I should hook up my Genesis.
You should.
And just play X-Men.
Or hook up your Dreamcast.
No, I got the Genesis.
Yeah.
I think I have it on the Game Gear I gave you. I think you got the game on that too. So
I don't remember you giving me X-Men though.
I thought X-Men was in there. I thought it was in there. Anyway, I can't remember either. But anyway,
Aaron, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to go into the superhero franchise of Power Rangers. Actually,
what?
Dude, yes. It wouldn't have got me except for the fact you get to control the Megazord and you have to fight Goldar as one of the main bosses. Oh my fucking that boss battle! Even though it felt like it was like
I love
shitty
this. Power Rangers.
It was
franchise
such a good
I
game.
never got into.
It came out when I was a kid. I mean
we were all kids for Power Rangers.
But I was like 6 or 7, man. I was a true kid.
John
I
must
was
have been like what, 1, 2?
maybe.
Still in the nutsack.
Oh,
Oh, but no, I remember playing that game with my friends, and that was just like that was such a fun franchise to play with my friends, especially when you got to the part we had to control the Megazord, and that was just like, oh, it was so much fun. Oh, I so much time playing that, beating
Did you beat the
beating
game?
it a few times. Yes,
Oh,
actually,
okay, cool.
such a good game. I loved it.
I don't think my brother and I ever beat X-Men 2.
Uh,
I definitely never beat Earthworm Jim.
I beat the first one on SNES, but that's it. I don't think I ever played the second one.
My understanding is the second one's better, but they both are blurring in my mind, so I don't remember
Yeah.
which is which. All right, John, what's your number 2?
Maker Bomberman.
Mega Bomberman.
Oh, I love Bomberman.
Bomberman's
games,
a great
especially
game.
back in that era. Yeah.
Nothing like
addicting.
having Dave school our ass, getting our ass kicked.
yeah, he was the ass kicker. That's for sure for that game.
We
I
actually used to
think
hook.
the difference between Bomberman on Nintendo systems and the one on Genesis is they had like those little dinosaur things in the Genesis version, like that you could ride or whatever.
Huh.
Didn't they have those?
Yes, they definitely did, because like I used to hook up the Dreamcast and we used to play the Mega Bomber version
Mm-hmm.
at game night
Yeah.
before I bought Bomberman on the PlayStation 3. But yeah, we used to play
That's the
because
one I played.
I used to
PS3.
have, anyway, we used to do that. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bomberman's great.
Yeah, I don't play that often, but it does get addicting. Just try to see how large your explosions can become towards the end of
Yeah.
the game.
it's also
They-
best to play it with people, because there's nothing like ponying somebody in a situation.
Yeah. I think the
In
one
our
I played
case,
the
was
most
Dave
was
owning
Super
us.
Nintendo and also the TurboGrafx 16 one.
You know what sucks?
It's been on everything.
What sucks is I bought the brand new version for PS4, hoping that someday we would play it together, and then COVID happened.
Yes, COVID.
Yeah.
And so I have the brand new version, and hoping that someday we'd play it together, and that's probably never
I
gonna
don't
happen.
remember. Super Bomberman R, is that the one?
Yeah, I think you bought it recently.
Yeah, I have it, but you would have to play online.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it with you, Jared.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh.
think.
It's not a multiplayer game. It's a co-op game.
Yeah.
All right, Jared,
Funny.
number 1. Let's get through this.
Golden Axe.
Go. Oh man. All right.
I love Golden Axe.
Was that also a launch title? Did they like launch titles in different? Did they put
It
different
originally
games?
came to arcade. It was ported, and I
Altered
read
Beast
that.
was an arcade game originally, right?
Well, Altered Beast was created by the guy that created Golden Axe.
Oh, of course it was. They're
Yeah.
so similar. Golden Axe.
Yeah, I just love the series. Like they had really cool stages. Like there was like the flying turtle or whatever the hell that was that he wrote on the back of it. It was really
Nothing
awesome.
like a flying turtle.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, we're talking.
Isn't that like from a Stephen King novel?
I
No, that's like Discworld kind of stuff.
I don't read books. I read comic books.
Guess
so I
what?
don't
The
know.
Discworld, isn't that like a turtle flying on the back of 4 elephants?
There's a turtle
on a
in the
disc
new
or
God of War.
something like that.
God of
yeah,
War
it's-
2018.
Mhm.
She
Yeah,
lives
it is.
inside
I
of
remember
it.
that one.
She lives inside of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
yeah,
Freya. Yeah.
Yeah. Freya.
The last version of Golden Axe that came out was on the PS3, Xbox 360.
Was
so
it? What was it?
yeah, that it was Beast Rider, Golden Axe Beast Rider, I think is what it was called.
Oh, Dude
Yeah.
Studios in the chat
Hey, dude.
a million minutes ago at the very beginning, he said Beast Rider.
Oh, there we go.
There you go, Beast Rider. I should have known. He foresaw that your number 1 game was going to be Beast Rider. Well,
Yeah, yeah. Well, even
There
on
we
the
go.
first one, you could ride the, creatures and whatever they were. I mean, there was like a raptor one that scratched with its talon. There was ones that whipped with their tails, ones that blew fire. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff. They had the little elves They came and stole your shit, and you had to beat the crap out of them to get it back. And it was interesting. What a fun title. I'd like to see a modern version of
Beast Riders.
something like that.
Or Golden Axe. Golden Axe.
Golden Axe.
Golden
Yeah, I mean,
Axe.
there's a lot of modern beat 'em ups that are doing really good now. Like Ninja Turtles. There's Streets of Rage
4
came back. There's River City Girls is awesome. I still need to buy the sequel to that. So I love that genre. That genre is still fun.
All right. Cool. All right. Need to win number 1.
Sonic 2.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's everyone. That's everyone's lists. Number 1, Sonic 2.
Well, it was just such an improvement over the first one, and then not to mention once Sonic and Knuckles came out, there's like that added replayability of playing Sonic 2 as Knuckles, even though I got to the very end, and because Knuckles can't jump as high as Sonic can, I got to the very end, and I was always running the Dr. Robotnik's like hand claws, so
Nick,
I could
it's like
never.
it's like New Game Plus. You know, they make it harder, so like you jump less. That's what Knuckles is. 'Cause he's New Game Plus.
I guess, but
you only carry forward your experience in the game.
But yeah, so I played the shit out of that game. Like,
Who else
when it
played the
first
shit out of
came
that game? Because I never got into Sonic games. So Jared, did you?
Now, every time I play Sonic games, I just don't like Sonic games. Like it's like, hey, it's built to be really fast, but everywhere there's a stop. There's a bouncer to bounce you the opposite way. There's gajillion enemies all in perfect places to stop you. So you never really get to go fast through a level.
I agree, Jared. I feel like the game is built.
Obnoxious.
I feel like the game is built not to be fun.
Yeah, they build the levels to slap you in the face wherever they can.
But as a child, young Nick DeWin was fuck it, I'm going to beat it.
And then...
Yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah, watching speedruns is fun. That's where I like.
How many times
Sonic.
have you beat it, Nick?
Oh, lots. I mean,
nice.
Every day, I just wake up, do it.
I had a lot.
10 minutes.
I had a lot of nothing going on back then.
That's cool.
Well,
right?
even like Sonic Mania, like there's the bonus levels where you're supposed to get the Chaos Emeralds, and they're stupid, and I hate them.
Yeah, those were. I mean,
they're awful.
How many Sonic games have you beaten, Nick?
I just wanted to. Because once 3 came out, it was like, at that point, I was already in high school and just kind of like moving away. Like I played like the Sonic Spinball, the pinball version. I played that a little bit, and that was a little fun. But
so what makes 2 just so much better than 1? Like, why is 2 considered the greatest Genesis game of all time, in your opinion?
Just the amount of improvements. Because I mean, it seems like they kind of improved upon like not only the speed up portion of things, but they also included like these little ribbon. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it was like
Helix.
Sure, I think Aaron knows what I'm talking about. Like they didn't have it in the first, but it's like rather than going doing like a bunch of loop-de-loops, you actually had Sonic like an actual running animation. Yeah, where you say, he's running through like a corkscrew. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Stuff like that, and then then you've got fun levels like the Casino Zone where you're like, I guess you're doing just like a little form of kind of gambling or whatever, like with slots and stuff, which I don't know, just seemed just kind of fun, and it seems like they improved on the music a lot too.
Well, yeah, my understanding is the music in number 2 is like the greatest music of all time. Like when you get like Sega nerds in a room, like Yusef and
it's hard to license too.
Like, those guys love the Sonic 2 soundtrack, man. Those guys fucking like boners pop. Ejaculation is everywhere.
Isn't that the one that is supposedly produced by Michael Jackson or something like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
I think that's why it's been so hard to license for Sega to release different versions.
I'd be lying if I said I never like jumped over into the sound test menu and would just listen to music for minutes on end,
Oh, that's
especially like
right.
the
The
and
16-bit era sound
and
samplings.
oh, and that was the other thing because they also, I mean, split screen on TVs back then just kind of sucked because it just like everything was all tiny and stuff. But it was nice that because Tails is in the game too. Can't believe I forgot about him, but it was like
Because he has two
two-player game.
tails. Sonic 2, two tails.
Yeah, like a freaking mutant. But no, it was also there's that aspect too, where you could actually, you could not only play Sonic versus Tails, but if you had somebody who just wanted to tag along for most of the game, they could control Tails for you, and run and get killed. Oh, see you later, Nick. They could run and get killed, but it doesn't really affect anything because Tail doesn't have any lives in the first player aspect of it.
Right.
But you can also collect rings for you and stuff, kill enemies,
Cool.
and basically just kind of help you out.
Sounds like more
Speaking
fun.
of Sonic multiplayer, their new one is gonna have 4-player like simultaneous gameplay.
Kinda
they're
like
not
Only
doing
they
that on
had their
separate
own
screens, it's-
console to launch that on.
Yeah, well, I've tried playing Sonic co-op on Sonic Mania, and it's just pointless. There's absolutely no reason to do it. It's
Is it
not.
kind of like when I brought that Super Mario Wii over, and we had 4 people trying to play all at once, and it's almost a little chaotic if you don't have a strategy going in.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
that's a
touching
different
Super
kind of
Mario's
chaos.
Wii.
But with
I
how
mean,
fast you're going in Sonic, if one person stops or bumps into something, like you can't recover from that, and Tails or whatever has to just fly in randomly, and you just lose Tails all the time.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
And-
kind of like
Yeah,
what happens in Sonic 2. It's the perfect, like at that time, being like just an early teenager playing the game and having some younger sibling that wanted to play with you. It was almost like the perfect thing to like hand off. Like,
here
but
you go.
it's
when's the
almost-
last time you beat it?
Oh, it was probably back in the '90s because
So it's been a while.
it's for various reasons. Me and the Genesis were separated at
Separated at
some
birth.
mid '90s. Never saw each other again.
Yeah.
All right. My number one, I talk about it all the time, so I'm not going to talk about it much. But it's Flashback. Woo!
Yeah.
Also, because
So-
I was listening to the original soundtrack today, also had a music test pay. You pause it and it had a music test thing, so you could listen to the music, which the music is also very awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's one thing I loved about Super NES and Genesis games is like the sampling of the sounds. You just run through all the numbers and hit the button and just hear them all at once.
super fun. But yeah, Flashback, great game, love it, beat it.
Never
Can't
beat
wait,
it.
Can't wait for the actual sequel. Aaron, number one.
All right, this is gonna be completely left field, but I'm gonna go with NBA Jam.
Yes.
For-
Oh yeah,
Great
totally.
choice. Honorable mention on my part.
Yeah.
Such a good game. It was so much fun. It was probably one of the few games that when I played with multiple people and I lost,
Gary
I didn't get
Payton,
that
Sean
mad.
Kemp, destroying.
Oh, yep. Clyde Glide and Michael Jordan, all those
Bill
other guys on there.
Clinton,
Bill
Hillary
Clinton,
Clinton,
Sub-Zero,
Scorpion,
Scorpion.
get over here, ball.
Big Head Mode. Let's
yeah.
go.
Oh yeah, Big Head Mode.
Fire
Yeah,
mode.
NBA Jam was awesome.
Oh no, I love that game. Like I said,
Boom
it
shakalaka.
was literally one of the few. It was one of the few games where if I got just destroyed by like my friends playing with it at the time, I didn't even get mad. I was like, "Oh man, that was a whooping." We'll play again.
You're playing with the wrong friends. I'm pretty sure I can piss you off.
Game assist. So
It's my favorite games though. Still, I loved it. It was
Dude, even the
perfect.
new version that I have on the newest version on PS3, not to mention it has the baddest like menu music.
It's not good.
It's great. No, the new one. What are you talking about, Jerry?
Really?
Yeah, this game's
Okay.
great. It's such a great fucking game.
Okay.
Oh my
I haven't
god.
played the new
That's
one.
the PS3
Oh.
one, right?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, maybe it's just because I remember flaming at you guys with that one.
You just. I think you just remember the NHL arcade that you fucking hated.
Yeah.
Well, we
Oh,
were all
yeah,
having
the
a great
NHL one.
time, and you just couldn't for some reason figure out the controls.
Yeah.
I think Jared
Sports games plus me equals really
just
bad.
sucks at things. Man, I think the arcade
You're
game was.
playing the
I still
wrong
have
kind
the
of
arcade
games.
game installed on my PS3 because it's so
Oh
much fun.
man.
It's so much fun. Anyway, good choice, Aaron.
Yeah. Nice
NBA
one.
Jam is awesome.
Loved
JPK, what's your number one?
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
That was a good one, actually. I thought about those ones, actually.
You the world.
I played it once. It was
Those were some really fun Disney games back in the day.
Very hard
Yeah.
games too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Especially
can't
Lion
beat
King.
them in
actually
your
played it
first
recently.
rental.
I played it recently. I think. It wasn't on the Genesis, but it was on the Switch, and yeah, it is fairly challenging.
I think you're being polite. That game was hard.
I remember playing that too. I had a lot of fun with that game. It just was. It felt really responsive and looks actually. The Genesis version actually looks really good. It's a really
It
good.
did.
I mean, obviously the newer version polishes up, but like, I mean, I imagine the Super Nintendo. Isn't one of them better than the other? Isn't the Genesis version better than the Nintendo version or something? Isn't there a version that's better?
I don't know.
I think
I
so.
never played either. I mean,
Anyway.
I played the
I
Genesis
think
one.
Genesis was the better one.
Compared,
Yeah.
like those two ports of just any game, it always seemed like the Super Nintendo one was at least better looking.
But I think there's a thing where the Genesis thing, like the Genesis Aladdin, I think is historically better
maybe
than.
that one. Maybe
I have to agree with that one.
I feel like there's like I don't know. Anyway, I remember playing it and it being a super fun game, but super fucking hard, and I was not super into video games, so I would quit immediately. My brother played it a lot, but yeah, good choice. It looks like the cartoon, you know.
It does.
They,
It really
yeah.
does.
they make
Yeah, it does.
they make
100%.
they make jokes nowadays like, oh, it's like playing the cartoon. It's like, well, some of these
That's the
games back in the
point.
actually were like you know, maybe you didn't play them, but like I feel like Aladdin does a pretty good job of being Aladdin, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the more attractive aspects of that game was how close to the movie it actually looked.
That's the thing. Most of those games that they came out with in the 90s, they did a fucking fantastic job making it look a lot like the movie. Like Aladdin looked great on the Genesis. It looked like the movie. The Lion King game looked like I was playing fucking Lion King as Simba.
I mean, if
Or-
I'm honest, like Super Street Fighter, we played that a bunch on the Genesis. We would rent that all the time and have the friends over and play it. Super Street Fighter looked fucking great on the Genesis. Like, I mean, it was pretty close to the arcade version, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm like stupid and.
I agree with you on that one, though. It's the
but-
game.
That game looked great, and you know. Anyway, I sucked at Street Fighter, but like, man, that was a pretty good looking game. It was fun to play. Get my ass kicked. That's another honorable mention. Anyway, good choice. Aladdin's a great game, John.
Great one.
Mhm.
More honorable mentions, anybody?
Tasmania.
I saw that on lists. I didn't realize that was such a popular game, but like looking at it, it was high. It was like in some top 10s. It's like I didn't realize that was such a great game. I feel like I
That was
should
a really
heard of it.
fun
I should look for it on the Dreamcast and like check it out.
I mean, it's so small, but I mean, just doing like little jumps on the ground, like every time you land, there's like a little cartoony effect. I mean, just even small stuff like that. But I mean, that's kind of like another game that almost looked very cartoonish, like almost cartoon-like Aladdin or Lion King.
Like it was
But-
perfect in its like
Yeah.
what it was trying to do. Like it wouldn't
Mhm.
have to do much to be a cartoon. Like it looked proper. Yeah. Like I was just surprised to see it on so many lists. It's like, holy shit, I didn't realize, you know, a lot of those like kind of like Warner Brothers toon games didn't do very well. So like that one.
No, that one was a lot of fun because I mean, there's like things that you can eat too, but there's things that you don't want to eat, and it kind of fucks you up. But sometimes you're put in a situation where you're trying not to eat something, but you still end up eating it, and you're like, "Fuck!"
Yeah. funny.
But no, it's fun and funny game.
Cool. Anyone else? Something else? Anybody?
No, I've pretty
I
much
mean-
exhausted my Genesis playing.
I mean, I had a
Nick's
couple-
got
I mean-
like a list. He's got like a Christmas list here. Go for
Oh,
it,
I
Nick.
mean, there were like some sports games like
NHL '94.
no, but
That was on the
Lakers versus-
list. Oh,
Lakers versus Celtics was.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's pretty much that was the start of kind of like EA and their basketball franchise that evolved to Bulls versus Lakers.
Is that when
and
it became in the game?
like, huh?
EA.
Oh, EA.
Oh.
It's in the game.
Sports. It's in the
Yeah.
game. Or
But no, I mean,
EA.
basically, that's part of the whole NBA Live franchise is like those games: the Lakers versus Celtics, Bulls versus Lakers, Bulls versus Blazers, and
Yeah.
then the other one I had was Joe Montana Sports Talk. It was Joe Montana 2, but it had Sports Talk. It was basically like one of the first games to actually have like. I mean, and it's so primitive when you hear it, but I mean, it's like one of the first sports games to actually have like a commentator commentating on
Oh,
like
okay.
what you were doing,
Right,
which
'cause now it's like it's just a common thing now.
yeah, now it's like
Right.
So Nick, to
it's a-
win, I was a little surprised. No wrestling games from this generation.
no, I never played any wrestling games on the Genesis.
Oh, really?
hmm
When did you become a big fan of that shit? Then.
Well, I mean, I was always kind of a bit of a wrestling fan around this time, but I mean, like probably the first games that I actually played were, but they were on the Super Nintendo. But it was like,
Mhm.
and I saw that Genesis actually had a version of this, but Saturday Night Slam Masters, which I think I talked about a few episodes ago. But I only played it on the Super Nintendo and the WWF Raw.
Gotcha.
Those were kind of like my first, and that wasn't until like '95 that I started playing those.
All right. I was just curious.
Um,
No worries.
yeah.
All right. Well, actually, Lord Beerstro, we have to get back to you.
Oh,
You need to like wrap up your sour and then pick between them.
Well, yeah, I've already finished them both.
How well? Like, tell us a little bit how the last one was.
This one was pretty good. I mean, I guess it wasn't as tart at first. I mean, it kind of came along a little bit. I mean, they were both pretty good. I think I'm kind of done with the tartness, though, of just beer in general, or sours anyway, for the time being. But they were both pretty good. They were both pretty similar. But I think I'm going to give it to the Sun River with Ale
Nice.
Song, which, by the way, I found out Ale Song is based out of Eugene, so we're still being completely Oregon here,
Nice.
Nice.
kind of within Oregon,
Cool.
if we ignore the whole AB InBev thing.
So I have a
Mhm.
question then. So our next week is then we're doing a Mexican beer standoff.
No, we'll save
We're
that
going
for
back.
September. Well, yeah, we're just going to go back, like, because
Waldo.
Mexico's
Return to
big
Waldo.
Independence thing
Mm.
is in September.
Oh, okay. So we're going back to the Waldo standoff.
Back to our regularly scheduled.
All right. I was just
Yeah.
curious. I
Oh,
wasn't sure
Waldo.
if
Yeah,
you're
to
gonna
cleanse your Waldo palate.
if the
yeah.
shirt was gonna make a comeback or it was gonna be, all right. Cool.
Well,
Awesome.
I need to be washed first.
Right.
There we go. All right. Let's do some quick couch co-optionals and get the fuck out of here. Jared, what do you recommend for the good of the order?
I was turned on to a band recently. I've listened to a little bit of their stuff. It's Thunder Mother.
Thunder Mother.
That's like all female, like old school rock band, heavy metal kind of rock,
All right.
old school rock. It's fun.
Cool. Thunder Mother.
Thunder Mother.
Who turned you on to them?
Nephew of mine,
Oh,
because they're playing with the Scorpions right now.
He's into the older ladies. Got it.
Well, they're not older ladies.
To him, they are.
Well, to him, yeah.
Right.
He's what, 24 or something like that.
Anyway. Very cool. Thunder Mother. Check them out. Are they on Spotify? Do we know?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
I just pull them up on YouTube.
All right. Nick DeWin, what you got for the good of the order?
Come pay a visit to Bend. It's lovely out here.
Come to Bend.
You're a travel
I
bug,
love
aren't you,
Banana.
right now?
TravelOregon.com.
TravelOregon.com, I believe, is the
Listen,
website.
there's lots of. I mean, there's lots of little great places in Oregon that. I mean,
believe
it's really popular, but I mean, there's a lot of like other smaller places that don't quite get enough attention. I mean, like, not that I want to focus on them right now because the plug right now is for Bend, but I mean, there's just lots of little spots in Oregon you can just go check out that are just kind of neat and well.
Well, I agree.
Very cool. I'm gonna pick. I was preaching about it on Discord earlier this week. The season 2 of The Bear is on Hulu right now. In my opinion, the greatest show that exists currently. I love it. It's so good. The Christmas episode is insane and has a stacked cast. I've never watched this like a special episode of a show and then like just like, so many cast members, and one of the cast members deserves an Emmy nomination, a guest Emmy nomination. Anyway, The Bear. If you haven't seen it, watch the first season. It'll blow your fucking mind. Super cool.
Where can we watch it?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Did you say that already? And
I did say it already, but it's okay. Hulu.
bad.
The Bear has Jeremy Allen White from he was on Shameless originally. He's the star of
such a
this
good
show. You could kind of look at this as like a continuation of Lip, but I think it's better than Lip. It's better character development. It's just a better overall in my opinion. Anyway, Aaron, what do you got?
All right, so my wife has never watched the show, but I'm rewatching it. Arrested Development. It's on Hulu and Netflix, and oh my god, I forgot how good that show is. If you gotta check it out. It's I feel like it's a launching career for several people, but
And a relaunching career.
yes, of people like
For
what
Bateman.
Jason
Yeah.
Bateman, Michael Cera's launching career, which and then of course Jessica Walter, the mom, is also an archer. As
Who's the guy that does the Batman voice? Oh my god.
Will
Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett, sorry.
Yeah, Will Arnett. Yeah,
I love him in that. Yes, and then I think David Cross is in it as well. The
Yes.
other son. Oh my god.
Aaron, do you listen to the Smart List podcast?
No, but I've been wanting to. I hear it's
You
pretty
should
good.
listen, dude. If you're a fan of Arrested Development, you
Okay.
should fucking listen to it's so fucking hilarious. And you don't even have to listen to their fucking interviews. Just them talking to each other is fucking hilarious.
I love a good banter, so I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, you should check
All
it
right.
out. It's fucking hilarious, dude. You'd love it.
Okay.
One question for Aaron. Did you ever watch the Netflix seasons? Of Arrested?
That's where I actually started watching it initially. It got to season 4, season 3 or season 4 is really weird because it was like they're trying to tell everybody's story to get everybody caught up, and I'm like, what the, what? You could have made it one episode, the whole thing, and no, they make half the season as a what happened to this person this time off, what happened to this person next episode. I'm like, god damn it, it was weird. I didn't like it, but I did watch on Netflix. That's where I first found the show. But yeah, I
was just curious if you liked it or not. But
I just didn't like that one season. It was really weird, but the first few seasons are fucking fantastic.
no, the first 3 Fox seasons. Okay.
Yes, they're fantastic. And then the Netflix pickup, and it was just like a weird revival type thing. I'm like, what is this? This is ridiculous. But I haven't seen the 5th season, so I'll have to jump over to Netflix after season 3. So
I'm just curious because I actually watched the first 3 like years ago. I think they were on Netflix, but it was before Netflix actually produced the 4th season. And I started to watch it, but I just I didn't finish it for whatever reason. So I was just curious if I was just missing something and I need to go back and rewatch it.
No, it's pretty. I mean, I loved it. I remembered half what was going on in each episode, but I couldn't remember the other half because I was laughing so much during the whole thing. Like, just some parts like, oh, that happened. That's right. Oh God, how did I forget that? But anyway, Message Development.
So how many bananas out of 10?
What?
How many bananas out of 10?
Oh God, $250,000 worth of bananas. Give them that. Out of 10.
All right, John, what do you have for us? What do you have for us, son?
I recommend the YouTube channel Aton Che or Aton Shi. It's a filmmaker who has a focuses on history, and he has a Civil War segment called Checkmate Lincolnites. That's pretty funny, where he pretty much debates himself. One side of him is dressed as a Union soldier, the other side of him is dressed as a Confederate, and they talk about controversial subjects such as was the Civil War really a war of Northern aggression? Was it really about state rights? Stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting. I'm not as familiar with the Civil War, but the way he presents the info is pretty entertaining. Because usually for the Confederate side, he takes comments from his past videos and then he uses that as his arguments. So it's a clever way for him to kind of address questions from his comment section. But it's also kind of weird to see people trying to defend the Confederacy. And it's weird that, almost 200 years later, people are still sour about that. I mean, it's kind of disheartening in a way, but he keeps it entertaining.
Oh, racism, John.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yeah.
Well, defend racism.
Something America's
Southern
really
glory.
They'll rise again, I'm sure.
My couch co-optional is I'm against racism.
Good at. Yeah.
Same days.
Yeah, good.
That's a good one to be.
As a multiracial person who had, fuck racism. Anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you guys. Great show. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis, baby. Baby.
Sega.
By the way,
Sega.
Sega. So was just real quick, was the Genesis Mini, was that an actual an official release or?
It was. They've
Yes.
been sold.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can still hunt
Yusef and
one down
Mappy,
on
I think,
Amazon
both have
for
one. I think you
expensive.
can mod them.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think that's the only one though.
but
The only
nobody
one
else here has one.
None of us
No.
do. No.
Okay.
No.
I think Dave had the mini PlayStation.
He has a mini
Yeah.
PlayStation. He might have a Nintendo.
I don't know if
I don't
he got
know.
the Nintendo or not.
Who needs that shit when you have a Switch?
Well, Dave has the Raspberry Pi, so he doesn't need any.
Yeah,
of
you don't
those,
need that
so-
either. Yeah,
Right.
Raspberry Pi. Like, why did he even buy the PlayStation? But
Yeah.
anyway, those things have gotten so fucking expensive, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one, and then it's like, oh, it's like $300. It's like, what?
Yeah. Didn't it used to be like 60?
Yeah, now it's like
50, $60 for the whole
$279.
kit.
I think it's like $279, and it's just like, serious?
Uh-huh.
Jesus, because people use them. So like, here's something crazy. People use them for other things than video games. So Malice in our Discord that was helping you with computer stuff, Jared,
Yeah.
he's using them for his. He's trying to grow tomatoes.
Huh.
Not
Is he automating
not tomatoes,
it?
but I'm gonna just say tomatoes.
Ah,
Okay, so
Gotcha.
it regulates like water and stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
He's automating it. That's cool.
For his
Nice.
grow operation of
His
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of crazy that you could like program this little computer thing to do things like water. You know, that's kind of cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll probably never get a Raspberry Pi unless Dave gives me his, since I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure he never uses his. And
Probably
I would
not.
use it at all my parties.
I
because
think
it's-
the last time it was used was at one of the
At
last
my party.
parties you had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we might be having another one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
August 5th.
Ish.
This is a Saturday. Probably a birthday
Okay.
celebration. You know, just mark it down in
Cool.
your calendar. But you know,
Okay.
John, when are you guys gonna be back in town?
September,
Ugh.
towards the end of September.
Jeez. You people.
Anyway,
you're welcome to come, John.
What do you
but
mean, you
you're probably
people?
not going to be here. People that live out of state that don't care about their loved ones.
Don't care about their dad.
They hate their dad. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Well, I learned it by watching you.
okay.
I do love you, though, John, and Nick, and Aaron, and Jared. But not Dave.
Well, you're
because
just
fuck
saying
Dave.
that for the
Dave couldn't fucking be here tonight, so fuck him!
Well, this would have been like a 2.5-hour episode
Right.
if Dave was here.
But hey, Aaron made it through all of it.
Yeah, I know.
Aaron's
That's awesome.
survived.
But what do you?
The baby,
have
the baby's just
stupid
sleeping all
stuff,
night
or-
tonight, Jared or Aaron. The baby's just sleeping.
We'll see.
We'll
She's,
see.
As far as I know, she's sleeping. So
So far, so
Good
good.
times. Well, let's get out of here.
He's soundproofed that room, so he doesn't have to.
Let's
know.
get out of here, so you can go do something else. Anyway. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. Leave us an email. Let us know what you think of the show, or hey, blah, 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 what you thought of Sega. Should Sega make a console? Just leave it at that email. Anyway, I want to thank Jared, Nick, Aaron, and JPK for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Wild stallions.
Couch Co-op.
have a good night, everybody. Good night.